Well, here's Nick attacking me because I didn't notice his brand new duvet. But get this, visual learners, if you can see, this is the same weighted blanket that Nick uses on top of his bed. How am I supposed to notice the duvet, bitch?
Well, the duvet is longer than the weighted blanket, so it does hang off. So when you enter the room,
the ground when I walk in the room.
So when you entered, you would have seen it. But to each their own. Clearly, you don't pay attention.
Clearly, I was literally starving and I was cranky. I was
you were
on the train.
The energy you were giving me over text, I literally had to respond to you and say, Mama, we're podcasting, not performing brain surgery.
It wasn't about the podcast, it's about the timing and me having to like rush from one place to the next.
And
then Nick's just like treated deflecting, I see the problem with Nick and I, and the reasons why we sometimes get into tiffs is because my way of using my friendship in moments. What's happening?
No, keep talking. I forgot to plug in my phone so it doesn't die while we're recording.
My way to use my friends, sometimes I just want my friends to be like, it's gonna be okay, girl. Oh no, I'm sorry, that sucks. Acknowledgement, So I was just complaining about the A train going local, and then how I'm gonna be rushing from one place because we're going to a movie after this, and then I have a dick appointment. So all these things I'm rushing, and then Nick's just being like, oh mama, oh you're being so stupid, oh why? And I'm just
I never said stupid. Don't put words into my mouth.
What you said mama, and you said why are you stressed?
I said take a deep breath.
Exactly, and I was just what I want to hear is just my sister being just oh my god, fuck that A train, fuck the A train. I'm gonna go fucking ruin their lives right now. I'm gonna go tweet at them. I want the double down support.
Well, because but I understand.
Hi, I'm Pioneer Peru.
I'm Trailblazer Nick, and this is Pioneers and Trailblazers. The thing that I understand about the world is that ultimately,
let's not start with the things that you understand about the world. Okay, mama.
Can I just finish my sentence? The thing that I have.
What do you understand about the world?
Is that
clearly not visuals based on your looks today?
Thank you for the visual learners. I'm hungover, and we'll get into it. We'll get into it. But my hair is wrapped up into a little bun, a cute little top knot. And you know what? I'm feeling myself. I'm gonna wear this to the movie.
Oh, you are? I was after you were wearing to the movies.
Maybe I wore a hat, but I'm gonna wear this outfit.
Well, the outfit, yeah, but maybe we should match somewhere. Or put a bandana or something,
Well, we'll see. Okay. But basically, what I understand about the world is that everything, is not that serious. I mean, it is serious, but these minor inconveniences and things, if you just take a deep breath and relax into it, it's actually not as bad as you think. Okay? And so sometimes, I love my sister, but sometimes she was texting me saying, I'm not going to get to your place until 5 o'clock. And I thought to myself, I'm sorry, it is an hour and a half right now. That's an hour and a half from the time that I was receiving this text. And I look at Find My Friends, which we share our locations with each other, and I looked and saw where you were on the map, and I went, no, it's not going to take that long. Even if it is running local, I was like, it's not going to take that long. So that's why I said, take a deep breath, relax. And I said verbatim, I said, that's not true, or something.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that. See, he's negating my feelings at that very moment.
No, and listen, I get it. Sometimes you just want to complain, and I'm one of those people too, where it's if you just want to complain, you want to complain. But for some reason, your energy was stressed. Me being hungover, I was like, I don't need this additional stress in my life. I'm like, just relax. It's gonna be fine.
Well, the thing was, and I've coached my sister, Miss
how to respond.
How to respond. Sometimes, for example, where I'm the kind of girly who's just oh my god, I look horrible, I feel bloated, or anytime I say that, I want my girlies to come to me and be like, no sis, you're a slaying diva, you're, look at you, or look at this, or find
a positive. She's fishing.
I'm fishing, and I fish for my friends to negate my negative thoughts, and so whenever I'm I would talk to Nick and I'd be like, oh my god, I look horrible today, I feel awful, I look disgusting, and Nick just stares at me. He's like, oh. I'm like, and
no, exactly. You don't, diva.
Thank you.
You're so beautiful today.
And that's how I work, and that's
and listen,
the way it goes with Miss Peru.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes, I do that, and sometimes I just, need to sprinkle a little truth and realism into the mix.
I feel like the two of us, I'm very much, and I don't even know if we actually talked about this, but I'm very much, a very reactionary and very impulsive and I need like validation, or like I need a certain response right there and then, like the way I want it. If not, like I freak out. Whereas with you, you're much more like you take a step back first.
Oh, I have to like if I'm receiving.
And for me, it's just like what?
No, if I'm receiving information, I literally will receive it, sit there, and then I have to process it. You know, and sometimes it takes me a while to process what I've experienced, listened to, heard, read, like whatever information is being thrown my way or what I witness. And so sometimes it takes me a while before I'm ready to, you know, have a conversation about it. So we are very different people.
Yeah, like last time we got into that tiff that we alluded to in a couple episodes ago, like it was very much like Nick said something that sent me off, and then like the way I work is I immediately have to start unloading on why I'm upset. And then Nick's response is just to like sit there and listen to me.
And then I go, okay.
He's like, okay.
So let's talk about it. That was one, not my intention, the way that you perceived what I said. That I'm sorry that it came across that way, but that is not what I meant. Your feelings heard, valid. And let's move on, because clearly it didn't. Let's rephrase it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's made for better communication, I think, from the two of us.
Well, if anything, if that's what we've learned, is I think for creating strong friendships and relationships with people, communication, which I sometimes feels cliche to say, but it is the most important thing. And I think I was having this conversation with my friend Claire yesterday. I went to the beach yesterday. I'll get into it. But we were having a conversation.
Oh, we're starting with the beach, great.
Well, no, I have actually a lot happened this week for me. None of it really. Actually, there was one sexual thing, but that was it. But we were having a conversation about how a lot of people, it feels these days, aren't willing to have really difficult conversations with people that they're close to because they're afraid of, one, hurting their feelings, or I guess what it would mean to have to be vulnerable and reveal a part of yourself that is either, one, hurt, two, you know, feels judged, or like whatever it is, its situation. And so, but from my experience as I've gotten older, I used to really feel that way. And as you know, I've created adult relationships and friendships and things. I've learned how, if you're just open and honest with how you feel, it's usually, if they're a good friend and they're receptive and they care about you, they'll take in what you say and you'll work through it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Well, and obviously if it's not meant or not met with open mind and heart or whatever from the other person, and it just creates more problems, and clearly that's not a good friend.
Yeah, to me personally, like friendships, I've devolved in the way I want to be a friend, because I think in general I'm the kind of friend who's just like, I literally will not judge. I will just be like, if you're my girlie and my friend, like I'm just there for the ride. Like I will never, you know, like I'm very open in my friendship as far as like I'm good. Like whatever you do, like you can come to me like and tell me you killed somebody literally and be like, all right, well, how are we gonna do
Depends on who you are. For me, if that's the situation. Depends on who you are, who you killed, what the circumstances are.
Nick is a friend that will be like, okay, so we will have to walk together to the precinct, and we are gonna have to, you know, like get you know, the justice system, because you know that's just who you are.
We'll find you a really good lawyer.
I would be like, okay, just get some Clorox, like you get a saw. Like,
no. Because I don't want to be implicated in any way. I don't want to get in trouble.
And to see, that's more. You're like more. You're a reason. You know, like you're the friend who's just like, okay, like let's calm down. Let's be responsible. You're very much
think about it.
Let's think about this. You know, like, but me, it's just like, okay, who you killed somebody? Okay, great. Okay, where do we go? Who has the car? Who has the van? Road trip. You know, like I'm very much like I'll double down, you know. But I think people can take whatever they want from each of us, you know, how they want to. But lately, I've been feeling like in my friendships, where I typically, like, if somebody did something that ticked me off or something I didn't like, typically Peru would just be like, oh, fuck it, whatever, you know, like I just take my friends for how they are and who they are. Lately, I've been feeling like if something really bothered me, actually, I'm gonna bring it up.
Yeah.
And to me, it's not about like, well, if you're good friends with somebody, you know, like you don't, you know, like it, nothing matters, you know, like you're just friends through and through, which is the case to a certain extent. But like, I feel like I am much more willing nowadays in friendships to like bring something up and be like, hey, this thing happened and like I didn't like it. And the same thing with other friends towards me. Like I used to take things personally when friends would like clock me on something, because I am very chaotic, you know. I think it's safe to say. But lately, like when I hear something from a friend, I really do understand that they're telling me because they care, you know. And like people want to tell you something that you did, or how something that you did may have affected them, because they like you and they want you to know that, so you're more aware of things.
Yeah, and if they're your friend and they really care about you, obviously they don't ever want to hurt you. So if they're unaware that their behavior has hurt you, I think that is something that needs to be brought up and said, because then if you do say something, then it's like, oh, I had no idea, I'm so sorry. I think of the conversations that we've had where you expressed that the certain things that I said, where you initially, the last tiff that we had where you reacted very quickly, and I was like, oh, I had no idea that the way that I phrased the sentence would make you feel this way, and that wasn't my intention. And so it's like, okay, I didn't want to hurt your feelings. That was not the point of why I said what I said. I thought I was being helpful, but here we are. But so and then you have an understanding. I think this is another thing that gets said a lot and is kind of not cliche, but when you're in a relationship with someone, no matter what kind of relationship you have, you're building a language between the two of each other, and a sense of understanding. So it's now I know certain things that, there are certain things that I won't say, or certain things that I won't phrase in a particular way, because I know how it will be received by you.
Yeah.
And so it's and I have that with all of my friendships. So it's you learn how to communicate with each other, and you speak a very particular language, and it's different for every single person. And so I think in order to continue to build that language, you have to constantly be communicating.
Yeah, and I guess to wrap up the what we've learned in the world regarding friendships is that
I'm gonna give a TED talk soon. Yeah. Brene Brown found dead.
Oh my God, Miss Brene, more like Brent.
No, Brene Brown. That's what they call my whole mama.
That wasn't that funny.
You laughed.
Yeah, because I'm a sister. See,
no,
see? Validation.
No, liar.
It's good. I like how we're talking about friendships now, but I guess it's good. I like how we're actually giving advice now. Nobody asked, but we're here's advice on friendship. There's a difference between these two things. One is a character trait. For example, Peru's always running behind. Okay, that you can take that or leave it. That can just be something that as a friend people will just understand, or whatever. Okay, well, Peru, he said he was gonna be 10 or it'll be I'm always gonna be running late. Another thing is a character trait is not my friend is always saying something that hurts my feelings, or makes that's different. No. So one thing is just a character flaw or blemish. Another thing is just an actual mishap or mistake, or
for sure. And if you find issue with Peru being late, girl, just lie and tell him that the event time is 30 minutes earlier than what it's actually is.
Wait, have you lied to me about the movie?
No, it's actually at 6:30.
At 6:30. Okay, yeah. Okay, girl. I was like, wait.
But it's not gonna start right at 6:30.
No, I know.
Okay, so anyway, I'm hungover.
Back to Nick being completely townspeople. Last night, I have never seen Nick. I was this drunk.
Oh, I was partying down. I was
like, who is she?
So here's the thing. This is Miss Peru got us into a house of love. Everybody say love.
Everybody say love. Thank you, House of Love.
Thank you, House of Love. A House of Love event.
I kind of want to reach out.
Wait, no, that would be iconic. Yeah, imagine if they promoted.
I liked a lot of the options they had.
Oh, mama, they got me fucked up.
Oh, well, okay.
So basically, it was this event at Stonewall where they had a drag race viewing party.
Happy Pride,
hosted by none other than Miss T.S. Madison, which was so iconic to see her in person. I started following that bitch when I was in middle school. I've seen her early YouTube videos and work, and she was so formative for me. It was just so fucking she's just so fucking funny and just so smart and so talented, and just I rewatched Zola 2 weeks ago, and just I saw her in it, you know what I mean? And she's just everything. So to see her in person was really cool. And then if you had a wristband, you got to get free House of Love, beverages all night from the bar. And so you show up, have the wristbands, whatever. And so these House of Love cocktails, they're a White Claw or a High Noon sort of seltzer drink, but the alcohol content in them, the margarita, they range. The tangerine margarita is 12%. Diva.
And Miss Nick
A White Claw is like
5%, yeah.
And so I before I got there, Prue texted me and was like, "Oh, all the girls are here already. Like, we're all just chilling at the table." And he was like, "We tried the House of Love cocktails. They kind of taste like limeritas, so you're gonna love them." And I was like, "Wait, yay!" And he's like, "All the gays hate them." And I was like, "Oh, great, more for me then," which was not the case because, Mama, they ran out.
It was so funny because I was just like, wait, like, I mean, of course, sometimes you're trying to get a bang for your buck, and you're like, okay, what drink's gonna get me there a little sooner? You know, like, not saying that we're just trying to get fucked up sooner, but it's like you want to get, you know, like a buzz going.
Yeah.
And like, obviously, like,
also it started at 7:30, so it was pretty early. So like, let's get the buzz going.
Okay, the buzz going. But also it's just like, okay, like they had a list of like the different things, and it was so funny because like the marketing, or I guess however they're pushing these drinks, it's like I have never seen a menu in which they list the alcohol percentage.
Oh, because they know that these faggots are rotted.
They know the faggots are rotted, and the faggots are looking to get their alcohol fucking pumped into their bloodstreams.
Oh, 100%. They gotta go party, and they gotta go to horse meat disco, and they gotta get back.
They gotta go to the orgy, you know, like at 1 a.m.
Yeah, no, they gotta be fucked up. The blood alcohol content. I mean, oh yeah, is that blood alcohol content? That's what they.
Blood alcohol Bach.
Wait, what does they say when you get when you get pulled over and you do the breathalyzer? It's the blood alcohol what? Comment down below.
Comment down below.
I don't remember.
Do we have any cop townspeople?
Well, if we do, Mama, a cab.
But also like slay. Send us a photo of you in uniform if you're like a good one.
No, only if you're a porn performer or a stripper in a police costume.
What if we did have a cop that was a townsperson? That means that they're a good cop if they're listening to this fucking podcast. That means they're one of the few good ones. Wouldn't you say? I mean, come on. If I'm playing devil's advocate, like if there is a cop that is a townsperson, are you saying you're gonna judge that townsperson for listening to our podcast?
You would advocate for the devil.
I am not advocating. I'm just saying I do not care the profession that any of our townspeople have. Whether if you're
you would care what the towns. If someone was a Republican conservative lawmaker that was voting actively against queer rights,
congratulations, because like the joke's on you, Mama, because you're going home to listen to this fucking pussy ass bitches. Tell Mama, pussy ass bitches.
No, joke's on us.
How?
Because they would be making laws that go directly conflict with our rights.
But the thing is, like, here's the thing.
You're saying you don't care about that.
Here's the thing. I'm already. The thing is, like,
people.
On my own terms, I am already advocating towards. You know, like I'm trying to, and also like I don't vote. Ask me why in the comments. But imagine people are like, wait, Peru doesn't vote.
Well, I mean,
they would believe it.
You like can't. That's why.
So I am not able to vote, which is why I don't vote. But it's so funny because like I truthfully like if there's like a Republican listening to this and you like, I don't know.
I mean, I highly doubt it.
I understand. I'm just trying to make a point. It's like
if
there
understand.
was a cop townsperson, I would just be like, serve.
I mean, I have cop family members, and I still say ACAB to them too, Mama.
That's great, but then you know, like I don't know. Why does somebody want to be a cop? Anyway,
and much to think about.
Comment down below. Actually, if you're, what professions do you all have? What kind of townsperson are you? Are you a lawyer? Are you a doctor? Are you a performer? Are you a teacher?
Everyone is literally a student. They're like,
you know what? We're all students because we're all going to the school of life
and that service industry. And us too.
Yeah, us too. So, yeah.
Like, whatever. So, House of Love cocktails. House of Love cocktails.
But I do have to say one more time. I'm so sorry. But I do have to say, I found it so interesting because I grabbed the little House of Love menu at the bar. And I was like, ooh, I was like, literally, they had it in 3 tiers. It's like, here, the 0-proof ones for like, if you don't, whatever, if you don't drink. The middle tier, which was like 4%. Up to 7%, and then the higher tier was 12% and like an 11 and 10%. And I was like, what is this? Like, what kind of person looks into meanwhile all of us are just like 12%.
No, because the tangerine margarita was the 12%, and literally at one point they were like, oh, we're all out of the tangerine margaritas, everybody. And then you could like hear a collective kind of groan from everyone in the room. They're like, no, but because everyone
they even had to make the announcement because
they ran out.
Yeah, because at first it was people just kept asking for it, and then the DJ's like, oh, just want you guys everyone know, an announcement from the bar, the tangerine margarita is out.
And then T.S. Madison comes out and she has the can. She goes, I got the last one.
No, we're like, bitch.
So I started the night off with 2 7%, and then I finished the evening with the 10% drink, which was like the strawberry daiquiri. And the first two I drank, and then I didn't feel anything. And then I finished the third one, and then the episode was over. TS talked for a little bit afterwards, and then we all decide to leave, and then we go to the next bar.
Which we need to... Okay, pause there. Again, I'm so sorry. See, I'm back on track this episode because we gotta talk about the Gottmik of it all.
Oh, just stealing the jokes?
Yes. But, like, in a different way from, like, previous seasons in which, like, some of the queens have been, you know, like, called out for, like, I guess having a joke that's similar. Miss Mick... Oh, I mean, I think she's fantastic.
Well, did you see her response tweet?
No, but I saw a compilation video in which literally is each Nikki Glaser joke followed by Gottmik. Mama,
that video was posted.
There's no denying.
No, and that video was posted to Twitter, and Gottmik like replied and was like, "Oh my gosh, obviously I love Nikki Glaser. I'm such a big fan. Of course I would rework some of her jokes."
Rework, Mama. She taped it and then wrote it down again.
Yeah, I mean, if we're being honest, listen, I mean, obviously, like, don't steal people's jokes. Yeah. I think if you want whatever, but I also, they're drag queens. They're drag queens. Like, they're not meant to be like.
They're not comedians.
They're not comedians.
Yeah.
They're like, that's not, unless that's their drag. Like, if they are a drag comedian, amazing. But Gottmik is not a drag comedian. Gottmik is a look queen.
Absolutely, but it is a gray line, because had this been a different reality competition, or it were to be a different challenge, imagine, for example, that Gottmik won this challenge and $10,000 would go to her charity of choice. Mm-hmm. That would literally be profiting from something that's not yours. Like, there's actual loss for that, you know, like. People for plagiarism, like, people actually go to jail for that or get fined in a court of law.
I don't think people go to jail for plagiarism. They just get fined.
Well, it's still depending. I mean, depending.
Or they'll just get sued.
You know, you get sued, and then, like, you probably will have to pay like an absurd. You know, there's so many lawsuits that go with songs. You know, like, oh, this song.
Well, yeah, there's so many people go to court for that.
Yeah. So, well, I guess not jail, but yes. But I mean, plagiarism is not something that's like, oh, okay, whatever. But I understand both.
No, I get it, and I think it would be a very different story had the jokes been from a much smaller comedian that is like trying to break through, and if the jokes were funnier. Yeah,
because unfortunately, I would have had a problem though if Gottmik, for example, would have won money for. Yeah,
but
you know,
but unfortunately, Gottmik's roast wasn't that good.
Exactly.
So we don't have to worry about it.
Which goes to show y'all, like, just do your own stuff. Like, if you're a performer or anything, and we've all fallen down that trap of like trying to do something like somebody else, trying to do what the other people are doing.
Not me, I'm original.
Girl,
I would never copy.
Okay, Miss Storytime.
And my story times are original. They actually happened to me. How would I make that up?
I'm saying, like,
how would I steal someone's life experience? Okay, that's a popular format.
Exactly.
The format was a roast.
Yeah.
So that's a popular format. So
okay. Anyway, so just do you. Just do you. If you know, just keep working on your own stuff. Eventually, things get better. Don't copy people.
Well, yeah, I always get pissed when people like steal my jokes, especially like on Twitter, or like, God, when like people will like
steals my jokes because there's no
they're
way
not funny.
There's no way they could fucking, because also, like, I don't even like write jokes. I do funny stories.
Yeah. Sure. Since you want to come for me.
Sure.
So anyway,
sure.
House of Love.
Okay.
So then I got really drunk, and then we decided to go to the next place, and as soon as we get outside and we're walking to the next bar, I was like, oh, I could kind of feel it. And then we get to
it's so funny that you say that you were feeling it then, because all of us clocked it when you were at the table.
Wait, really?
We were yeah, because like you it's really, you're quick. You're a quick tell. Oh. You know, like, your base level is here. Once something, it's like a switch, and then you're just like, oh, the curls are curling. Like,
I was feeling myself. I looked good last night. There were so many people that came. There was a person who came up to me when we were at Playhouse, and they like tapped me and like said something. I couldn't hear them over the music, and they were just like walking past, and I thought like they were trying to tap me to say like, oh, like, excuse me, move, like, you're in the way. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, what was that? And they were like, I love your top, and I was like, wait, thank you. I was really serving looks last night, and then I matched my umbrella with my outfit.
You did, which I noticed in a clock.
Thank you.
It out.
It was
a good choice.
The girlies loved. So then anyway, I'm drunk as fuck. We get to the next location. We get there. We do a drink. It's iconic because there was another event happening at this bar in which there were wristbands involved, and we didn't take our wristbands off. We kept them on. And so when you can tell yours.
Yeah, I'm raising my hand because, of course, who does that kind of shit? Me. Nick would have been peeing his pants.
Well, they don't know what are you talking about? You didn't reveal.
I went to the bar, and I was like, I took everyone's orders, and I was like, okay, like I took some cash out, whatever. The bartender gets the drinks, and I was like, how much? And the bartender goes, oh, you're with the event, right? And of course, Peru, being the person that she is, goes, yeah, I'm part of the event. And he goes like, oh, yes, it's free. And I was like, right.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then I tipped with a fat 20. And then I turned around and I was like, girls.
No, immediately. And it was like, don't make it obvious. Don't make it obvious. But we're going to get free drinks tonight.
I pulled a knife. I was like, okay, here's what we're going to do.
No, and then it was crazy because it's like the people that were in the event, we knew them. Like, we like ended up being like, oh, hey. But then I did one drink. I think I only did one drink. I did
2 drinks there. Because I was like, they're free. We got to get 2 drinks.
I did one drink. I did one drink at Julius. And then by the time we left, I was like, oh, I'm drunk. And then when you were like, let's go to Playhouse, I was like, I'm going to go for like 5 minutes and I'm going to go home. Because at that point I was like, because the thing is, I had gone to the beach earlier in the day. I went to Jacob Reese, which is a lovely little beach and cute, and it was a beautiful hot day. I went with some of the girlies that I went to college with. It was so much fun. I was like having a fabulous time, and then I like went home, and it was just a long day for me, so I was just tired. And so then getting drunk on top of it, I was just like, okay, like I'm gonna burn out soon. So then we get to Playhouse, and the music was so good at Playhouse last night. Normally Playhouse, for those people who don't know, it's a bar in the West Village. It's got
a Playhouse.
It's a gay bar, but it has become a little bit more straight as time has gone on.
It's become a college student basically hangout for the girlies and their gay thems.
Yeah. And so I've been
are gay thems and their girlies. Sorry.
Well, I've been seeing a lot of stuff about it online from gay people that I follow, saying that it's a lot of straight dudes have been going too. Like, it's like girls will bring their straight boyfriends.
Yeah, but I mean, inherently, even if the crowd is becoming more mixed, it's still
it's overwhelmingly gay.
Not even so that much so, but it's like it's catered for the gays. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So even if there's like a shitload of like straight people there, the setting is still like gay. The whole thing is gay.
The bartender lives in my neighborhood. I recognize him. I literally was like, why does he look so familiar? Today, he's the bottom.
I was at Rice earlier this week, and Mama, when I tell you, I had a fucking mental breakdown because both bartenders, like, I have hooked up with, and they ranged in their like stylings, I guess you could say, and I clocked both of them. They were working behind the bar, and I was like, oh Lord. And then, I'm always trying not to make things awkward, but then I went up to the one, and like I gave him like a head nod and a smile, kind of just like acknowledging. I was just like, hey. And he was like, hey, what can I get you? And I was like, I don't think you remembered me. I don't think you recognized me. And I was like, what? And then I was like, well, now I can't be like, it's me, smooth pussy hole guy, which was a thing that was said to me.
Smooth pussy hole. Title of that. Mine would never. I would never. Mine's hairy. It's fuck. Sorry, y'all.
Do you ever shave your ass?
I did in high school for absolutely no reason. I was just like.
Would you say you have a hairy ass?
It's like not like overly hairy.
Do you
like
finger yourself?
Yeah.
You do?
Like not.
Like when you're jerking it?
No, because as soon as like something's in my butt, I go soft.
You've said that, yeah.
So like because then if I'm like focusing, I can't focus on two things at once. I either have to focus on my dick or my hole. Like I can't do both. Like it's whatever.
Not all of us can multitask with our brains.
So like I've tried before of like when I had my hemorrhoid situation and like I had to use my anal training set or whatever when I jerk off, I'd like try to play with myself in that way.
Why are you being so coy? We literally talk about our pussy. I know. Play with myself?
No, I just like couldn't think of the word. I was like, what is the... I'm hungover. Because I didn't finish the story, but anyway.
So there's a lot to unpack still. So trust and believe there's a lot more to talk about last night.
But anyway, so it just requires too much focus and like I couldn't stay hard. And there's different sensations and like whatever.
And when I watch porn, for me, and this is not a hating on you, so get ready.
God, I first of all, when you said that, I was like, Why would that be hate towards me?
Because I hate it when I'm watching porn and the bottom is soft. I absolutely. So I could not watch you, let's say.
But that's not always the case. When I hook up with the bald architect,
From last week or the 71-year-old?
No. Oh, well, we'll get into that in a second. But no. The one that I like hook up with, the only person that I'm hooking up with consistently, because no one's been living for the femme jock. So, but when we're hooking up, I think we just have like really good sexual chemistry. So like I'm turned on the whole time. I think it depends. I have to be really, really, really turned on for me to stay hard while being fucked. Mm-hmm. With him, that happens because he's also jerking me off during it, and so if someone else is jerking me off, then I can stay hard.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Oh, I do.
Because no one really does it how I want it to. So I'm just like, no, just put your hands.
Oh, I like it. I like a new feeling because I do it in a very like I do it the same way every single time I jerk off. Like I have like the same rhythm, same routine, like whatever. So it's nice to switch it up and have somebody else like do it at a different rhythm or tempo. Like, you know what I mean?
See, I'm the opposite. It's just like I know my rhythm, and clearly these other guys have like a different rhythm.
Well, when it comes to like getting to the point where I want to finish,
sometimes I gotta do it.
So I don't always have to do it. Sometimes if there's a good rhythm going and whatever, I will sit back and let them do it, and I know that I'll just finish. But there are some times in the past where I've had sex with guys and they're jerking me off and they're doing it too slow, or they're not applying enough pressure, or like whatever, enough grip. And then I have to kind of swat their hand away and then just do it myself.
Oh, I'm swatting. I'm swatting.
But speaking of someone not recognizing you, I did receive a text from the 71-year-old that I fucked the other day, and all he said was, "Hey, stud." And then I didn't respond until the next morning because I got it while I was at work at night, and I was just like, I'm not in the mood. Like I got really sick on Tuesday, and so I was so like men were not, or dick was not on the brain at all. I didn't open any apps. It was not anything that I wanted. I said I feel so disgusting and gross.
That's so funny. When I'm hungover or like sick, all I want to do is jerk off.
I can't. I just feel so gross and nasty. And like sex is where I feel beautiful. That's where I like feel like most alive. And like what? Why are you laughing at me?
No, I'm glad that sex makes you feel the most beautiful.
Well, I mean, it depends on who I'm having sex with.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, if I'm being sexual, that's me at my most, gorge. And so I wasn't feeling gorge, so absolutely not. But then, so he texted me, and then I responded the next day, and I said, hey, like, how's it going? And then he responded maybe like 10 minutes later and said, hey, can you resend me your face pics? So he did not remember me, and I did not respond to that text because as soon as I send him my face photo, he will be like, oh, right, you're the one who pooped on me. And then we'll stop responding. So I'm not going to give him that opportunity to do that.
Well,
I'm just going to protect my peace.
I mean, I share, and I don't pay. And listen, if anyone from Grindr is listening to this and wants to send us a code, listen, we're no longer under Sniffy's contract at all. So if Grindr
we were never under a contract to begin with. We didn't sign anything.
But I mean, if y'all want to support the girlies for Pride, if you want to send us like an extra or unlimited code or whatever,
girl, we're halfway through Pride. Pride's almost done.
Girl, it's so crazy. But I send my album so many times, and I get so many albums that like I can only go so far back. So like when somebody wants to talk to me again that I don't remember, like if I like their penis or like their album or not, like I do ask like share album again, and sometimes these guys are just like really, or like you already have it, lol, and I'm just like, well girl, I'm not paying for this, like I want you to send it again, like what's so difficult? And sometimes I feel awkward about asking again, but then I always like unshare mine and reshare it. So
yeah,
I'm just
that's
like,
what
hey,
I do.
like let me see it again,
That's what I do.
Oh man, I just love collecting albums.
And honestly, that just makes me think of something. This is getting into like a broad conversation, or not like this could be a really deep conversation that could take a full episode. So I don't know if I want to get into it now because we have a lot to go over. But have you ever heard of male general or LPSG?
Oh, LPSG, mama. Ooh.
Because
Ooh, we don't want to get canceled.
well, no, because I had no idea what they were until recently, because somebody that I follow on Twitter had made a post being like, "Oh, just love it when somebody like makes a
Gets
whole
dropped on
post about you on Male General," and I was like, "What is that?" And so I Google it, and it's basically like Reddit. And for those who don't know, if you're not a rotted gay person and like disgusting and evil, it's like 4chan for like posting, like specifically for gay men, and mostly it's just people asking, like posting a picture of a particular person, whether it's like an influencer or someone who's just like in New York. Like there's a whole board for gay men in New York, and I like went through it because I was like, what the fuck is this? And it'll be gay people who will take screenshots of like people's Instagrams, Twitters, Grindr profiles, and be like, anyone have sex with them? Send their pics.
Yeah.
And then people will who have received their nude photos will post those photos and be like, here you go.
Yeah.
And it's insane.
Here,
it's
can
crazy.
I say something and you tell me if we need to edit this, okay? Because you brought it up.
Do you enjoy the LPSG?
I will neither deny nor confirm enjoyment. I will also admit that as a human person who is sometimes rotted, I have had the curiosity to want to see a known person or a celebrity's like nudes.
Sure.
You know, here's the thing. We could talk about LPGS, whatever, all day. There's videos, you know, like, I mean, there's called leaked sex tapes, you know? Like, are we going to say that, like, people leaking sex tapes is good? No. Am I going to say that I did not watch Miss Colin Farrell's sex tape? No.
I've seen
I
it.
absolutely have seen it. Again, you're going to tell me if we need to cut this. Have you seen Miss Cheyenne Jackson's video?
Yeah, when he ends it and he goes, clearly, I'm Neil. Clearly, I miss my husband.
But anyway, we would be lying to ourselves if we were to tell the townspeople that we're high and mighty and that we've never perused or we've never done that.
No, but I think it's okay. I'm not saying that it's different.
And we will be making our way back to Julius. No, trust and believe.
But I do think, and maybe this is, I don't know if this is the right thing to say, but I do think it is a little bit I mean, maybe it isn't different, but with celebrities versus like regular people. Well, but the thing is, again, I'm not condoning any of this behavior. I personally, did I Google my username and LPSG and also Male General to see if anybody had my nudes posted on there, and it said absolutely zero search results, and I went,
no, mama, your laptop crashed.
No, I literally did. I did like in quotes like my username like. Because I assumed it'd probably be from like TikTok, so I was like Clown Face Binge, and then I did like Male General. No, zero search results, and it was like a little bitch fishing, being like, "Oh, we couldn't find anything, we couldn't catch anything."
Watch me go. My feelings got hurt. My videos are already out there. We're talking about when they leak. I'm like, they're already there.
No, mama, my feelings got hurt. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I really be sending.
You gotta up your production quality.
Well, no, and I think it's because I have the foresight to like hook up with old dudes who have no idea how technology works.
Yeah.
So they have absolutely no idea what these forums are. So it's actually I was protecting myself.
They're still trying to replay the video.
No, they're trying to like open the album. Yeah. They're like, wait.
Like it's locked.
They're like, how do I find his profile?
User ID.
Well, no, or they're asking me to resend my face photos.
No, but okay. I believe firmly, and I honestly, this might be the one episode where we have to like really go out and about and see what we need to cut or not, because I firmly believe that it's strictly cultural, and it is different when it happens to women in a straight heteronormative scenario than it is with gay people. I'm not saying it's any better. All I'm saying is that, for example, when J Law's fucking nudes got leaked, that is a complete breach of privacy, and in that scenario I feel like, in the same ways that I find straight porn problematic and not gay porn problematic, you know, because of so many of the variables that go into straight porn and the way it really tends to view women, you know, and abuse women, let's say it, because it's the truth.
Okay.
I feel like, you know, gay porn is not I don't feel uncomfortable watching gay porn when I see straight porn. There is a lot of. It's just two different cultures.
I think the common denominator is that men are the ones who are breaching the privacy, but with women. No, but it's the thing. It's like it's still men. Like it's straight men who are exposing these women's nudes and like leaking them out online with like J-Law and everything. It's also men who are receiving nudes, videos, whatever, and then sharing them online. Like it doesn't matter if you're gay or straight. Like the common denominator, it's men.
We don't know who's behind those profiles. I know
Male General and LPSG, the gay websites.
I'm not trying to. And I was about to agree with you. Yes, men are really at the root of all the problems.
Men are the root of all evil. Besides money, money is also the root of all evil.
But I am saying, really, it's just what online and what the internet has created. Because effectively, so you can hide yourself behind user 365 Hello Kitty, oh yes mama 2000, and nobody will know who the fuck is behind that fucking user. Nobody knows who the person is who's sharing this. You know, it's, you know, you don't fucking know who's behind these usernames. But anyway, what I was trying to just say is that,
well, what are you trying to go with that?
I am trying to say is just like, is it a breach of privacy for this, like, and is it gay and is it rotted that people are doing this? Yeah, but somehow it feels less wrong when it's done within a gay, I guess, forum. Just to put it broadly, it feels not as crazy as like if they were to be about women. I feel,
would you not feel violated if you found out that somebody or people had saved your nudes and are now resharing them because people are like, and then not only sharing your nudes, but then going in the comments and either one saying like, oh, so hot, or two,
disgusting,
eviscerating how you look and being like, oh, not that hot, thought it'd be bigger. Like, you know what I mean? Would you not, if you knew that was happening and people were having these conversations publicly online, on a forum which seems way too many people are using?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, clearly,
would you not feel violated? And taking out gender and everything, would you not feel?
I make a joke out of this all the fucking time. It's one of my bits because I always say, listen, not if, but when my nudes leak and like when my photos, like I send so many fucking, I'm saying it's like, my thinking on my sexuality and my body and the sex that I have and me owning myself as a very sexual person, if someone were to breach indeed my privacy in sharing that content, once again, it says more on that person than it does on me.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about you as a person. It says more about the others.
And ultimately, it's just like, fucking, I'm doing great work out there, okay? But it's different. That's different. Someone going on those fucking websites and fucking being rotted and leaking something like, or like the Drake video supposedly, whatever, you know, like people can go online and leak whatever. Another thing is when people are like, for example, someone's using it as it has a legal term. It's sex
revenge porn.
Revenge porn. When someone is actively using those videos in order to personally harm me, when they're sharing it to like my mom or like my sister, or like they sent it to my work, you know, if I were a politician or whatever, in a strategic and purposeful move to harm my livelihood. Whereas if somebody just leaks it online and it's just there for people to like,
okay, but to
listen, you brought this topic up,
but I want to get into this debate bag that you want to get into, because
do I not make sense though?
No, but I have a question that I'm going to pose, because something's not really adding up to me. So you brought up Jennifer Lawrence's situation of how she was hacked and whatever.
Absolutely, yeah.
So and you said that it has more weight to it if it's a woman that's being exposed. But say it was a man who, again, it's a private person, their nudes are their business, who they share them with, it should be kept between them. Same situation happens, they get hacked, their nudes are leaked, and they feel violated. Is that not the same? Are their feelings not equal to what Jennifer Lawrence was feeling?
We can continue breaking this down. Okay. I believe that when the J-Law of it all happened, it was very shameful. It was meant to cause shame. It was like meant to shame her, right? I don't necessarily think that LPGS or male general is meant as a form of shaming people. I think it's a forum for gay-rotted people to just be faggots and horny skanks and just wanting to like fap just see people naked.
Yeah, but
there is
the intention behind the person who's posting it doesn't necessarily really matter, because the person still has been violated.
Of course. And so at the end of the day, we both agree that like it's not right for any of these things to be leaked. Mm-hmm. We're both agreeing on that. Where we're finding differences is just in the levels of which like we feel comfortable accepting that, you know? Like, I'm comfortable with male general and LPGS existing.
Oh, you are? I feel like that should be taken down.
But we just talked about the fact that we've both consumed something on that site.
The reason I consumed was because I had no idea what it was. Be
honest with yourself. Don't say you weren't curious.
That's the whole reason why I went to the website, because I was like, what is this? Right. I saw that, and then I was curious because I wanted to see if anyone posted me.
Because exactly, that's the funny part of the conversation. But see, like, in some way, you felt comedically enough.
I just wanted to see if people thought I was hot.
Exactly. So, like, see? Like, if you were to find yourself there...
and then I would immediately be like, oh, I feel violated. Like, I didn't want it.
But see what I'm trying to say? It's just, like, just the fact that you're like, wait, like, I wasn't on there. Like,
I mean, that's the joke of it. But if it actually had been posted on there...
That's what I'm saying. Like, if that were to actually happen to me, it's on those sites... Let's remove everything else. Just on those sites, okay? Let's limit it to those sites. Mm-hmm. If I were to find out that my shit was leaked on those sites, I would be like, all right, well, whatever, it's out there. Like, I've gotten to a place with me mentally and psychologically where I feel confident enough in that if that were to be the case, I would not feel shamed by it. I will not let myself be like defined by it, or if anyone wants to like troll me or like make negative comments about it, I feel like that's just how I am.
Right, and but that can't be said for everybody that's being posted on there. Of course,
I'm talking about me, so that cannot be said for anybody. But again, I am not gonna sit here and say that like I have not seen that site. Like I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen it, and I've seen some of those photos.
But I don't think it should exist. I think that
I'm not saying like, I mean, and also like with the thing that we're not even talking about is like, how is this website staying afloat? Like, is the traffic generating any of these people any income? Like, who owns these websites? You know, like, are they profiting from all? You know, that's the bigger question, because it's just like, you know, like nobody should be profiting from like.
Well, I don't think it doesn't. The way that the website looked, it did not seem there was a lot of money behind it. It seems like it's a very cheaply put together website. But I think the thing that's keeping it going is just the people that go in the traffic. I don't think anyone's making money. I think it's just around because people are rotted and horny.
Listen, we can go back to Julius and be more light. I mean, this is an actual interesting topic.
No, but we can. But I think
this also. I mean, we're gonna have some people like really, you know, thinking about this.
Oh, good for Pride Month.
Do you think? Yeah, Happy Pride. Happy Pride. Nudes leaked.
Let's hope not.
Alt Twitter accounts.
Well, that is the person posting their images themselves.
Yeah, no, but people also like, oh, I found this person's alt and posting it, you know?
I mean, that I think is a little different because the person who is posting the photos, it depends on if the alt is like anonymous, yeah, and they don't show face and they want to remain like it's supposed to be like a secret kind of, or like they get titillated by the idea of showing off but without people knowing their identity, yeah, and their photos are being posted with like the exposure, they're being exposed with their like identity, their real identity, versus if it's just their alt account and they are posting with their face and everything and they don't care, they're not trying to hide their identity. That's a different story because that person is willingly putting that stuff out there and they for the point of people consuming it and seeing it.
Yeah. You know, at the end of the day, you know, I asked you the question, like, did you see Miss Cheyenne Jackson's video? And you said yes. So much so that you knew the end quote of the film.
Oh, well, because, Mama, I saw that in high school.
I know what you mean, but it's
just like... I'm an adult now.
Exactly. So like, it's like you participated in the breach of someone's privacy.
Right. But at 15, I didn't give a fuck.
Well, I mean, come on, like.
Also, I was not thinking about the morals of the porn I was watching. I was like, I just want to jerk off.
Exactly, and maybe you can call me rotted, which everyone knows I already am.
Well, you are.
But I do feel different. I do feel different when it comes to women than I do men. I do, and I'm not saying I negate any man's feelings.
I'm not here writing for men.
Of course, and gay culture, let me tell you, we all know it's very sexual. I mean, this goes back to the fucking, 80s. The whole landscape of, what being gay specifically is, and, sexual liberation, sex positiveness, we can do a whole dissertation on that. Whereas, women being sexualized takes a completely different...
the history of that.
The history of women being sexualized versus the history of gay men being sexualized is completely different. So that's my thought on that.
Ultimately, the thesis or the concluding statement that I will give for this is that at the end of the day, men are the ones that are inciting violence against others, sexual violence, and they should be stopped.
Yeah, but as Shakespeare's once said, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
Is that Shakespeare?
Yeah.
From what play?
Hey Siri, what quote is hell hath no fury than a woman scorned from? From The Morning Bride, a tragic play by English
William Congreve.
Well,
wasn't Shakespeare.
It's a William though. So
well, it wasn't William. It wasn't Willie Shakes.
Oh, okay, Miss Gottmik versus Nick Glaser. Is this the same thing?
Okay. So anyway.
Okay. Anyway, so I gotta talk to you about Julius.
Well, you did, but you have to tell the people.
I did, but I'll make it quick.
I was there.
But you were there. But I was already, when we were at the Stonewall, thank you, House of Love, again. Love you all so much.
House of Love.
House of Love. I had already seen a man in which I had already had a previous interaction like this, promoter dude. Long story short, I was knew that I was there, didn't acknowledge me. I went out of my way being a petty ass bitch, a pab.
Mm-hmm.
I made that joke off part with Nick, so I had to bring it back.
Didn't laugh that time either.
Bitch, shut up.
And you were like, title of ep. Oh my god, that's the title of ep. Mind you, we were not recording, and also I was like, absolutely not.
But we
Pab smear.
Wow, you're funny today.
After you're like, I don't think you like the joke that I made. You're like, that wasn't funny. Fuck off.
But I went out of my way to befriend the friend that he was there with because I wanted him to know that I was there because I am chaotic. And I was like, oh, and you were there watching me make. And they were all wondering, wow, Peru's really bonding with that girl.
Honestly, can I be so honest with my sister right now?
Mm-hmm.
I was not paying attention.
But you were the one who just told me I was kicking with that girl.
What girl?
The girl that I was talking to.
Oh, are you talking about House of Love still?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Julius. I was like, I was not paying attention. I was in my own world, girl.
No, yeah, of course. You were just dancing queen. But anyway, so at House of Love, yes. I was already kind of feeling like a chip on my shoulder on with men. I was just I'm not about to be ignored or rejected or played. I have the upper hand. So then we go to Miss Julius, and then we meet some men.
And by we, it was just you.
It was just me.
Or some of the other girlies in the group met them, but I did not talk to them.
Well, as is always known, I will go up to a person, I will kiki, I will chat. So then I meet this guy. Very cute.
He was handsome.
Sweet, handsome. Immediately we hit it off. So much so that we within 5 minutes moved from having a group conversation to having our own conversation. We were locked and loaded, and I was about to get locked and loaded. I was I'm in it to win it, talking, being flirty, doing I'm a hee hee ha ha, being coquettish and flirty and whatever.
That is so. I love that's how you see yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And what matters is how I see myself, not how others see me.
It's self-perception, diva.
So then this guy is flirting with me. Actively, we're being coquette, we're having great, and I was he was also he's an Emmy winner, and I can say that because there's some people that win Emmys all across the globe,
all different kinds. There's creative arts, daytime, prime time.
He did win an Emmy. in a category.
I think there's also broadcast for like news.
Maybe. Yeah. Thank you for bringing.
I know. I have a friend from college whose brother is a news anchor and he has an Emmy.
Yeah, I know a lot of Emmy winners actually.
Yeah.
So. I know some Tony winners too. So.
Cool.
So you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a future Oscar winner, so.
Grammy, future EGOT. Oh,
yeah.
And guess what? He got me, bitch. Get it? Like he got me.
Oh.
He got me, bitch.
I thought you were gonna be like, EGOT, more like FEGOT.
Wait, that's funny too.
Like faggot.
Yeah, I got it. Okay.
I didn't know if you would.
Okay, I got it. Okay. So anyway, because I cannot believe this happened to me again. I'm hitting it off. I'm thinking I'm gonna date this person. It's all happening. Like we're all gonna hit it off. Mind you, like I'm like whatever. We don't have to talk about that. But I was hitting it off and I was happy because I was like, listen, he's a creative, and then then this person that we both mutually know, because I was being coy because I love being coy with people that I just meet and I don't tell them what I do, because I'm just like I want them to find out naturally, because I'm an enigma. But he had to know that I'm just some sort of performant because I'm so vivacious and I have star quality.
Okay.
So that this guy that we both know enters the chat, literally in the space. And we're like, oh my God, hey. And then he goes like, hey, I'm so sorry I couldn't go to your Joe's Pup show. And I was like, no worries, whatever. And then I was like, okay, shoo, get out of here, because I'm flirting with my man. So then he goes, and then the guy goes like, oh, wow, because he had already told me about, like, we were talking about the show that he was a part of, whatever, which I really love. And I was like, oh my God, I don't want to seem like I'm like, I hate it when people in the industry like feel like you're just there to network, So I wasn't trying to bring me being a performer at all. And so then he was like, oh, so what's about this Joe's Pup show that you did? And I was like, well, and that's when I was like, I'm an artist and writer and creator and producer. So we talked about that. And then the conversation turned because he famously said, oh, blah, 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 me and my boyfriend. And I was like, girl, not again, not this again. I just wasted, and I told him to his face.
That's crazy.
Which is why I was like, we gotta go.
You're like, it's crazy that he means absolutely nothing to you now. If he can't be a sexual conquest, run a gay person.
Well, which is what he said to in response. But the thing is, you have to understand, townspeople, this man was actively flirting with me, and like we were both. There's no mistake in me taking it the wrong way. We were both in conversation, locked and loaded, interested in one another. There's no denying it. No one could question it. Anybody who would hear our conversation would know these are two men flirting. And then for him to tell me he has a boyfriend.
Men flirting?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They're in pride. And so I look at him and I literally went like, oh my God. I rolled my eyes at him and I was like, really? You have a boyfriend?
Girl.
And he was like, what? What's so wrong with that? And I was like, are you both open? And he goes like, no, we're not open. And I was like, then what are we doing? And he goes like, what do you mean? I'm like, girl, we just spent the last 30 minutes flirting with one another. For you to tell me now that you have a boyfriend, you should have disclosed that information 30 sentences ago, not now. And so he goes like, what, you mean that we can't just have two conversations as like two just queer people like at this bar? And I was like,
and kudos for him.
No, and then I was like, absolutely not. We were just completely flirting with one another. And then he was like laughing. He was, he wasn't, it wasn't like an argument, but like in the humor of my response, I was being very genuine. And so he's like, so what, we're just going to stop talking now? And I was like, well, honestly, yeah. He was like, well, we can't be, he was like, we can't be friends. And I was like, I'm not saying I can't be friends with you, but the intention of us talking from the very beginning felt to me very flirty. So now that I come to find out that you have a boyfriend and that you're not even open, it's just like I felt misled, which keeps being the trend for this year for me. People misleading me with their intentions. And so I was just like,
that also famously has happened to me. And so but you don't see me going, thank you.
Yeah, but I mean, I was just, and so then he was like, all right, well, it was very nice to meet you. And I was like, it was very nice to meet you too. And then I just walked away. And then he went to his friend that he was there with. And then I saw him talk to Alex and the other one. And then I started spiraling because I came out to everybody and I was like, we have to go. And then of course, like I was getting drunk at that point too. too. And I was just like, I can't believe he did that to me. I can't believe it.
And you came up to us. You came up to me and Robert and like I think Spencer, and we were all just like, oh, okay, like relax, girl, like it's not that deep. And you were like, oh my god, and like you're like, look who he's talking to now. And like we were just like, girl, chill. And then, oh, do I have to cut that?
No. You have to cut that, but
I do.
No, you don't. You don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but then didn't someone say that as we were leaving that he told somebody in our group that he and his boyfriend had broken up 2 weeks ago?
Really?
I swear to God. I swear to God.
So they even lied to me because he didn't like me?
I don't know, girl. Maybe.
No, but I mean, he literally was flirting with me. We were having a flirtagious exchange.
Flirtagious.
Flirtagion. I got the bug. But I went up to the girlies and I was just like, no. And of course, like we've discussed at the very top of this fucking episode, I'm reactive. I'm reactive.
Well, as they all can tell.
They all can tell. So I literally was just venting to them, and they were just staring at me like, okay.
And you're like, we have to go. And I was like, girl, I have a full drink. I have like we just got here.
I was like, chug it.
And I was like, I will not be doing that. No, and then literally Spencer was like, he won't be doing that. And then you were like, fine. We can stay.
I was so upset, but then I was waiting for everybody to finish, and then I literally was like, "Come on, everyone!"
No, I was in such a good mood. I wasn't gonna let anything bother me. But then I had to pee. And then
way to be a sister.
No, and I went into the bathroom and I peed and I came out. That guy he was flirting with came out, and because they
they were okay, not he. We both were flirting with each other. Okay, correct yourself.
Whatever. So as I was walking past the group, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the bathroom," and I checked because I think. So, someone from our group was talking to that group that he was a part of, and I was like, "Oh, is the bathroom open?" And they're like, "Oh, I don't know, go check." And so I looked, and I was like, "Oh, it is. The coast is clear." I was like, "Great." And I stepped out of the bathroom, and I finished, and he like started clapping. He was like, "Did you do it?" And I was like, "He did it." And then that was it. That's the only thing I said to that man. But he was like, I think he was like trying to start a conversation with me, and I was like, no. And then I like kept walking. I was like, I support my sister.
Thank you. No, at that point you should have been like what Samantha Jones did in fucking Sex and the City when she confronted Big at fucking Tao, when she was like, "What are you doing? What do you think you're doing? I wanted you to do that."
That was a different situation, Mama. They had history. You just met. I'm not gonna. I would look crazy.
You bet your ass this morning I fucking Googled that fucking bitch's name and I found the award and I found the full legal name and I fucking found the Instagram.
And if you're listening, please, I'm begging you, file a restraining order because she's gonna come at you with a knife one of these days.
Oh, trust and believe, when we see each other at the Emmys again, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, hi, how are you, Miss Lead?"
So anyway, and then I woke up this morning so hungover. It was like tragic. It was absolutely tragic.
Nick was having Playhouse. I have never seen Nick so happy, really.
I was having the time of my life.
Dancing, and we were all like happy. I mean, it was one of those perfect like New York City nights, like hangouts, because we went from one place to the next. Everyone was having a good time.
I never do that either.
You know, there was also like kiki gossip, you know, like, and then like just fun times, and we ended with dancing, you know, and it was so fun. The music was banging. I posted a video on Instagram. Somebody, a townsperson, was just like, "Oh my god, not Nick's curls curling," because they were like, "Oh, I don't see anything but Nick's curls."
Love, thank you.
I know, and I was like, we were all just fucking yelling and singing and dancing. And now here we are. Oh my god, it's already an hour and 3 minutes.
Girl, we gotta pioneer a trailblaze.
Oh my god, I had a townsperson fucking town hall.
We don't have time.
Well, can I commemorate it for next week? Because I do want to make sure that
we'll shout out next week.
Well, I want to mention. Well, I told this person that I was going to talk about this episode.
Girl, we don't have time. We have to leave soon.
I know. Okay, well, next we'll start with this.
Okay, we'll start next week.
It's from a townsperson named Juan who had a suggestion.
Great.
And they want to know about what to do if they want to move to New York City.
And that's gonna take a while to talk about.
That will take us, but townsperson, thank you from Texas, Juan from Texas. Thank you so much for being a townsperson. And I want to make sure that we get to that next episode. Sorry we ranted on for so long on this one, but I really felt like
it was educational. It's educational.
Yeah, educational. But I want this. I mean, this townsperson was wanting some true advice.
Okay.
So I feel like we really should, because we can both speak on that for sure.
For sure. So who's your pioneer?
My pioneer is me, for standing up for myself And for making my voice heard as a brown, queer person in this community, I want to put myself first, second, and third.
And I think that's really beautiful for you.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. My trailblazer is going to be Gottmik.
Oh my God! No, it's not.
I think it's really brave to steal jokes from other people.
and then openly be like, yes, sis, I love her jokes.
I mean, if you're gonna double down on it, I mean, I kind of live.
I live.
No. My trailblazer is probably gonna be the House of Love cocktails. They were like really, literally not sponsored, but please, but if you want to.
You know, I'm gonna be reaching out.
They got me so fucked up, and I was so hungover this morning.
Oh, and let me tell you, the whole House of Love, they made the announce the DJ again. Hey guys, well, you know, House of Love cocktails are out. The entire bar finished. The
whole thing, and it was not, and it was only we was at Stonewall, and it was in the upstairs area of Stonewall, and that was it. It was like blocked off, so only people who were part of the event. It wasn't like it's not a huge space. There are lots of people there, but it wasn't
like what, like 100 people there, or like
oh my God,
70.
No, it was like maybe 70.
Yeah,
it was like
70.
It was not that like crowded or anything, and so it was just crazy that we went through that like that, and I'm sure they prepared.
Oh, it was so funny because like once they announced the House of Love cocktails were gone, people left.
People literally walked out, and then the episode wasn't even over, which is so funny. You can follow us at Pioneers and Trailblazers on Instagram and YouTube. Please subscribe if you're a visual learner. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe. Every little bit of engagement helps, of course.
YouTube has been growing. The visual learners are showing up and showing out more than Spotify. So Spotify people, share the Spotify.
Follow us on wherever you get your podcasts, of course, if you're listening. And then you can follow Peru at Hey Peru on Instagram, TikTok, and at @HeyPeru_ on Twitter. You can follow me at Nicholas.Rose on Instagram, ClownFaceBinch on TikTok, ClownFaceBitch on Twitter. Okay. Happy Pride.
Oh my God, Pride. Bye. We should do a special Pride app.
Isn't every episode a Pride app?
Wow.